Welcome to Vision Forward's Tech Connect Live, connecting you to the world of assistive technology. And now, here are your hosts, Corey and Luke.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of the only technology show on the internet that matters. Wow, that was a very sudden
Well, I
cut.
realized last time that we couldn't hear us over. We actually got to bring that volume down,
yeah.
and I forgot to do that. And
I feel
so-
like that's the way it should be, though. Like, the applause
be
is just
drowned
so
out.
loud, we can't even project over the top of it.
We should just do it the whole time.
Yeah.
Applause to the whole instead of.
Anyway,
Good morning.
hello. He is Corey. I am Luke. And in the background, we have the one and only Jonathan.
Hello.
And there he is. And we are here to bring you the news, the reviews, the tips, the tricks, and the information that you need about assistive technology.
All of that wrapped up into a nice, warm flour tortilla.
That sounds surprisingly tempting.
Yes.
If you had three...
AT burrito. That actually should be. We should change our name.
That's actually great.
AT burrito.
If you had three words that you could use to define assistive technology, Corey, what would those three words be?
Empowering.
Okay.
Assistive.
Yeah.
And technology.
So you're
Like
defining the word by using the
I
words.
was that kid when the teacher said, define a word, and then I would use the word.
Use the word to define the word,
Yeah, it means this.
Um,
What are your three words?
My three words for assistive technology are, it is cool.
Oh, good. Speaking of words, I told you I had a riddle.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to roll out the riddle right away because it
Please.
sort of
Let's get rolling. As Fred Durst would say.
rolling.
Yeah, keep rolling.
Spell the word candy with only two letters. Spell the word
The
candy
D part is easy.
with only two letters.
How do you spell can with one letter?
Jonathan, any ideas?
It has to actually be candy.
You don't have to spell the whole
well,
word,
that is-
that's
that-
impossible. But it has
I
to be
will-
pronounced like candy.
When I heard it, I did like Eminem thinking that.
Yeah.
But that's not it. It has to be the word candy. Because I also thought that was, I
English?
didn't, what's English? Yes, English.
No, I don't know.
I didn't end up getting it.
If anybody in the chat knows, please put it in. Candy with two letters.
With only two letters, yeah.
Is it actually fair or is it actually...
No, it really is. It works out.
It does?
Yeah.
It's like phonetically some letter.
Would
is
you
a
like
Y
to
or
know?
E.
No, yeah, hold on.
Okay. little tired over here.
Hey, you're the one who brought the riddle to the table, brother.
No, I'm kidding.
You gotta suffer through it now. D, easy, can. Must be, you can't spell
I'm
can
not
with
sure
one
why you
letter.
get D as easy.
Well, because D is just the letter D.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
There was a Philip K. Dick novel that was set on Mars or something that had a narcotic that was called Candy, but it was C-A-N-D. I think.
Sure, okay.
No, okay, I give up. Jonathan?
I know. I'm phoning a friend. Let me know what is it.
The answer is C and Y.
C-Y?
C and Y.
Oh.
You said that it wasn't a trick, and it's very, very clearly a trick.
C-A-N-D-Y. Candy. C and Y.
That's not 2 letters.
Yes, it is.
It includes 2 letters.
C and Y.
The 2 letters are C-Y. That does not spell candy.
Get out of here.
Are you still doing
He's very bitter. How do you spell bitter with 2 letters?
You spell it C-Y. Spencer in the chat says, are you using contracted braille? That was a good guess.
Oh, actually, that's not a bad
But then he follows up once we have found the answer
don't
with
know.
boo.
I don't think it's a boo. I think it's wow.
I feel like we started off on a
some
very
shade.
poor note today. Very poor.
Got some shade thrown at it.
Okay,
All right.
I think the intro to this show has just proven, Corey,
Yes.
that we need the help of artificial intelligence in our lives to
We-
both
yeah,
write
we
better
should ask
riddles and define assistive technology in 3 words for us.
Okay.
So luckily, today's show is all about it's all about artificial intelligence. Now, we were, Arthur Indigo, we were going to talk about ChatGPT, Corey.
We were all prepared.
Yeah.
Literally about 20 minutes ago, everything was working great. And about 8 minutes ago,
Yeah.
ChatGPT.com went down for everybody. Maybe not everybody.
Yeah.
For many people. Jonathan, what's the current running total of complaints about GPT being down with a bad gateway error?
Well, there's over 6,000 complaints.
Okay.
6,000. They're going up rapidly.
And they're all within the past 30 minutes.
Thank you.
I wonder if, I bet you the complaints are pretty poor since they didn't have AI to write it for them. No work.
No worky. GPT, no worky.
Yeah, that's all of the complaints.
No work is spelt wrong as well. It's just spelt CY.
Nice. So we will hopefully, as we talk a little bit, and once we jump in, maybe ChatGPT will be back. If not, we'll end up using CoPilot from Microsoft. And even if GPT does come back up, we may actually bounce back and forth and maybe give it the same prompts. Obviously, for those that follow the channel, we've done, and even if you don't follow the channel, but you follow Tech Connect Live, we've done a bunch on AI, mostly around like Be My Eyes and Envision glasses and things like that. But we thought today we would talk about not using AI for like image description or follow-up questions about OCR, but instead talking about AI when it's kind of web-based and it's just a prompt where you can give it a question or give it a prompt. And we wanted to talk about maybe potential use cases, but even go further than that and have a conversation about should it be used? So like the title is how can you use it, and even should you use it?
When do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about it after we've seen it in action or before? I mean, we need time for GPT to come back up. Well, we need time for GPT to come back up, though, hopefully.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about it before.
But I wonder, my worry, will people, if you don't see what it's capable of, does our arguments back and forth not mean as much?
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. What do I know?
Well, let's just talk a little bit about AI at the top here. So AI.
Yes.
There's a few different ones available now and free to use. So obviously we've looked at the apps that you've already discussed here, but from a computer point of view, we could log on to ChatGPT, which is chatgpt.com.
Yep.
Do you have to create an account? I feel like you do. Yeah.
You do. You used to. I assume you still do. I mean, I've been logged in, so I assume you do. Yes.
So yes, you can log on to that. You can log on to their site. You can create an account. You can type prompts into their edit box there. and then it will give you responses, and you can ask many different things, which we will be talking about today. But then we also have CoPilot from Microsoft.
We do, CoPilot.
So Microsoft's AI. They've been pumping a lot of money into AI. I mean, they're funding OpenAI as well, who are the people behind ChatGPT.
I wonder if CoPilot is standalone or if it's built off.
That's a good question. It would seem to
be.
make sense that it's built off of it, considering the money that Microsoft have
maybe.
invested, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Google have Gemini, Corey, came under. Gemini's come into a bit of fire for some of the answers it's been giving.
I've not worked at all with Gemini, although I did work with a client the other day with Android, and I think now when you go to set up Google Assistant, it rolls you into Gemini if you want to as a beta kind of.
Yeah.
I think it said it was beta.
Well, one of the things that people was, well, there's been a number of answers it's been given which are less than ideal. One of which was making a pizza and ensuring that the tomato sauce sticks on the pizza by adding some glue to the sauce.
Is that actually true?
That's true, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's been a number of other ones of a similar ilk.
Which I do believe kind of leads into this conversation about
relying on it.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because it said make sure that you use non-toxic glue. So
edible glue?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's funny. I wonder how that happens. But I know that there's been obviously some with AI. There is potential bias that can be brought in. You know.
Well, I think the problem in that case is these AIs have mined the internet for their information, but there's a lot of satire and sarcasm and just false information out on the internet. And so how does the AI figure out what's real and what's not?
How does it weigh, or even weigh what is...
Exactly, yeah. So that's the big challenge. But there's also, Corey, a number of AI websites which provide kind of more specialized services. For example, I was telling you today about an AI website where you can type in a title and you can type in URLs to YouTube channels, and it will create blog posts for you based on that information. And then we've used in our videos like 11 Voices, where it's using AI to either generate text to speech that's pretty darn human, or one of the things that we've done, and it works amazing, is feeding in your own voice and then it changing that to its own AI voice. Doesn't do well with the British accent.
No,
not with my accent.
It does, even when you choose the British voice, it still kind of struggles with it.
Yes.
But you're right. There is a lot of. I mean, AI. There's so much around AI and how it's being used, and it's more than just explaining a picture. It's more than just writing a blog post for you. It's more than, there's tons and tons of different use cases.
Yes, it is all down to your imagination and your skill at creating prompts, Corey.
Yes.
Jonathan has his hand up. Jonathan, what's the news?
So for our viewers, in the actual chat, I've posted a link to our previous ChatGPT video if they want to check that out. We also have well wishes from Alicia Green again.
Yay.
She is happy to have us all back on the show and looking forward to today's episode, whatever it may be.
Well, now you should know, Alicia, so hopefully you are into the AI stuff. And if anybody in the chat is using AI, I'd be interested to know what you're using it for and what your opinions are about AI. Do you think that it's a legitimate technology that people should be relying on? Do you think that it's a way to avoid having to do any work yourself? Do you think it's something in between? What AI are you using? Put it all in the chat. I'd be interested to know.
So why don't we dive in? Maybe we dive in. Let's go right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I use it, you don't.
Yes.
You argue that you are intelligent and creative. I am dumb and dull. Is that correct? That's what I took away from our conversation this morning before we came on air? Is that, I didn't use AI to summarize it, but is that a good, no, I'm just kidding.
I would say, yes, that's an accurate,
gotcha.
That's an accurate summary. Yeah.
Joking aside, I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about how I use it. And then I do think it's fun to have a bit of a conversation, because we started this conversation and we gave two examples of using AI and why one might be okay and one maybe isn't so much okay. But it's who decides what's okay. So I have used AI in a number of different use cases. I'm not a great writer. I'm not super creative, and sometimes you've got, at least in my role here, I've got to create some blurbs about events that are coming up. And maybe it's even a Tech Connect Live, or we have, for example, a Saturday quarterly session that we do where I sit there and I try to attempt to write it, and it's like I start and then I delete it, and it just becomes like I kill so much time trying to get it to go. So I've been leaning on ChatGPT specifically, but it doesn't really matter which AI you end up using. But I've been leaning on AI to either A, get me started, or B, sometimes I just use exactly what it kicks out. Maybe some slight changes. In the comment I made, and you said, everyone says that. You're right. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I just use it to start."
Exactly.
It's like, okay. I will be the first to admit sometimes I make very little to no changes if it does a great job. So I thought maybe it would be interesting to go in, and we do have an event coming up in October, and maybe I'll just show you like what I would put in for a prompt and just see what it kicks out.
Okay.
All right. So do we need to switch over?
Done.
Windows
Okay.
M.
So we're going to go to Chrome here.
Enter.
First, I'm just going to see if
Address
ChatGPT
it.
is up. If not, then we'll just go over to
Alt
CoPilot.
F. Bookmark. Chat. Enter. Chat.com. Leaving menus. New tab. Google
I'm
New.
thinking not.
Nope, looking like it's not. All right.
Alt D.
So we're just going to go to
Copilot.
copilot.microsoft.com.
Enter. Search Microsoft Copilot.
And did I spell it wrong?
Copilot.
There we go. Okay. So now we're just at Copilot's page. I will say real quickly that it appears that Copilot and ChatGPT's page is very similar. Although Copilot, I shouldn't say. I was going to say Copilot, I don't know if it requires an account, but I might be logged in with my work account anyways.
There is a sign in button on the page, so I'm guessing that you're not signed
There
in.
probably is. And I'm guessing if you sign in, it probably saves some of your history if you wanted to come back. I know GPT will do that.
There is a, by the way, Corey, you probably already know this, but if you buy a Windows laptop now, there is a good chance you may get a dedicated Copilot button on the keyboard.
Yeah, with Windows 11, right? And I'm wondering if it allows you to either type or even speak into it now. I'm not even sure. I don't know why I couldn't do
Yeah,
speech
you would
to
have
text,
thought so.
but yeah.
I kind of want to try that out, but we don't even have any Windows 11
we'll
computers.
stick with us maybe in the next 2 years. We'll have
Okay,
something.
I've got to read this to you.
Okay, go.
We've got some clever people in our chat.
They're using AI.
Well, they are using
right.
they are using AI.
All right, what do you got?
Pastor Don Elborn, thank you for commenting.
Yeah.
I used AI this morning to write a Python script to remotely take a picture from my Raspberry Pi and serve it to a web page. I could have written it myself, but AI was much faster.
So, okay.
That's cool.
Let's take a break. Let's take a moment, and I want to let's bring in our conversation now.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, what are your feelings about Pastor doing that?
If Pastor Don Elborn
yes,
is able to write the Python script himself, but chooses not to for the sake of time,
okay,
then I think that's perfectly acceptable. If Pastor Elborn, instead of learning to script Python, relies on AI to do it for him, I think that's not ideal because you're not learning anything.
but what happens if Pastor, was it Elbon?
Don Elborn. Yeah.
Let's say Pastor Elbon, his specialty, what he's here to do, his skill set, whatever,
Yeah.
is not writing Python to put an image up there, but instead his time is better spent doing this other thing. Why is it not okay for him to use AI to do this, to allow him to do what he...
Is he, okay, here's my question though.
Okay.
And I'm sorry we're using you as an example here, but
I guess we can take
let's
Pastor
take
down.
Pastor Don Elborn's name out of this.
Okay,
And just
gotcha.
as a generic person.
Pastor Ron, we'll say.
Okay. As a generic person.
Yes.
Is the time that you save being used in other productive ways, or is the time that you save being used in spending more time lazing around. You know? I mean, it's a difficult line to draw.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I mean, it is, right? I mean, because what do you consider productive versus what someone else considers productive, right? You know.
Let me tell you a story. I decided I was going to tell you a story, and I was saving it for the show. I'm going to tell you a story.
Luke.
I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
Story time with Luke. Okay, so let me pose something to you here.
All right. All right.
Is it okay for me, as a creative,
Yeah.
to create art through AI without doing it myself?
How do you? How do you present your art to the world? Do you present yourself as an AI artist?
Very good question.
And everyone knows right off, like, are you,
Okay.
like, this is my work generated by AI.
You know, that's a very perceptive question, Corey, because my story was the following. There was a Japanese composer of video game music who was the composer on many high-profile releases. Mm-hmm. And it turned out, Corey, that this composer... sorry, I also forgot to mention, he was deaf.
Okay.
Who was it who was deaf? Was it Beethoven who went deaf later in life? Mozart? One of those guys. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
It's one of those kind of situations. But yeah, he was still composing them.
Gotcha.
Turned out, Corey,
Yes.
he was receiving these contracts for making this music and farming them out to somebody else. Somebody else was writing the music, and then he was passing it off.
And then he was passing it
as his own music.
Okay.
So if that's
Which is
not okay, then why is AI okay? But actually, though, the point that you raised was perceptive because he was passing it off as his own work.
As his own work.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which to me, although I guess on some levels you could make an argument if he's made an agreement with these other creatives and they understand that I am paying you $50 to take your music, but I own the license and can do whatever I want.
To be honest, I don't know what the contractual
but not to get into the weeds. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying as a creative, are you passing off? Are you plagiarizing? Are you passing off work that you didn't do?
And let's not forget, Corey, that AI is not generating anything original. It's taking content that other people have created and it's remixing that content. So you're essentially, every time you use AI, stealing other people's work.
Yeah, I know that's been the whole, that has been one of the sticking points with AI. And I've often wondered, like, when I put in, which I'm about to do, let me do it, and then maybe can we talk more about that?
We can, but I would like to, because people have been commenting, and I would like to read some of those.
Oh, go for it.
So thank you for putting things in the chat here,
Yeah.
people. Really appreciate your perspectives. Mr. L says, I found Google Gemini on my phone useful for quickly extracting info from product packaging. I think that's a fantastic use, to be honest with you. So that's the types of uses of AI that I really like. I mean, some of the low vision stuff that we've looked at, Corey, I think is fantastic. So, who's this here? Sean Techno, I believe. I love the Evan voice. I'm assuming that must be for the 11 voice?
No, that's what I'm using on my laptop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
That's a vocalizer voice, is it? So did you paid for that one? Did you? Oh.
No, it comes through Jaws.
It comes with the package.
You get vocalizer.
Okay. I do have a question for you, Corey. Since OrCam has left the blind party, well, I don't know if they actually officially have.
The only announcement that has officially come down to dealers is that they have let go of all of their salespeople.
I don't think all of them, because we still have Corin.
Well.
There's definitely something going on there. Let's put it like that.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not.
Oh, really?
I mean, we have communication that we are supposed to. They're meeting with us directly to start doing.
When did that? You never told me about that.
I just got word yesterday from the store.
Oh, okay.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So maybe they're just going.
So
direct
I don't. If Corinne is listening, I hope I'm completely wrong, but we've also heard that they're completely pulling out of the Vision, and I don't know that has not been confirmed.
I think that's what Sean is referencing.
I don't know that that's been confirmed anywhere.
Well, it certainly hasn't been confirmed from OrCam.
But I will say, if you're letting go your entire regional and local selling,
usually not
a good sign.
No. But Sean goes on to ask, what wearable would you recommend specifically for blind? Maybe check out the Envision glasses.
That's a great question, because we actually have had two people in the last. I've had two people in the last few days now that have wanted an OrCam, and we've said
check out videos, Sean. Check out our videos on the Envision glasses and the Meta glasses.
Yeah, I think that Meta is really. I mean, I've gotten a bunch of people recently who have been contacting me saying how much they've been digging the Meta glasses. So.
Not surprised.
For the price, and I know even in our video we missed some of the opportunity.
Check out the comments.
Read.
Jonathan's going to link the videos. Check out the comments on the Meta glasses, because we said that we didn't think it was possible for it to read from top to bottom, but then somebody in the chat told us how to do it. Mr. L goes on to say, I wish Gemini was faster than it currently is. Yes, I mean, we all wish things were faster. Pastor Don Elborn says no worries about using him as a reference. Mr. L goes on to say, for writing, I mainly use AI for spelling and grammar checks.
Yeah, that's
fair. I prefer to stick by my own wording most of the time. Yes, me too, Mr. L. Pastor goes on to say, for the next step, I have also used AI to write some code that I was not sure how to write, and then see it as an example to learn from it. I like that. And that's okay. That's smart.
It's funny because whenever I've taught myself to do any kind of coding, I haven't done much lately, but it was mostly HTML, CSS. I was never good at starting and just reading and learning how. I was much better at pulling sample and learning. This does this. This is this. You know, that was. So I think that I agree. Sometimes having that example is so much better.
I agree. That's a great point, Pastor Don. Thank you. And Jose Ibarra says, I believe AI is here to stay, and we're only at the tip of the creative here. I've got a question, though.
There's no question about that.
No. I'm going to question it, Colin, right now. I'm questioning. Here I go. I'm questioning it.
All right, go.
New technology always gets a lot of hype, right?
True.
And the investment comes in. Now, why does the investment come in?
The investment comes in because they know it's the new shiny thing.
And what are they hoping to achieve from their investment?
They're hoping to get in on the ground floor and watch it take off, and then.
But why though? Why do they care?
Oh, because they want to sell the company and make money.
So they are looking for a return on investment.
They're looking for an exit.
Where is the ROI in AI?
You mean from an investor standpoint or from a user standpoint?
Well, for the investors, think about this. How much money are all these companies spending on data centers and chips that can process the calculations?
Well, I mean, if you were an early investor in OpenAI, and not that they're interested, but I mean, what do you think OpenAI would sell for today if they wanted to sell? Billions.
At the moment. But the only reason that they're going to be valued high is because people either believe that there will be a return on investment or there is a return on investment. But at the moment, it's all just based on belief.
Oh, sure.
How is that going to be translated into an actual return on investment? Where?
.com bubble.
Say again?
.com bubble.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Same idea.
.com bubble, exactly. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could say this about any new technology.
I don't think you could, because there is a lot of stuff that has obvious application. I don't think that there has been any obvious application which you've got to remember, Corey, all of this is being hyped as revolutionary.
Okay.
Revolutionary, right? Where has there been any revolution with any of this stuff? Okay, I can now write a little thing about an event that I'm having.
Well,
but, it's not revolutionizing
I will say,
your life.
I don't know that that's a fair argument in the fact of who we are. Where AI, I think, is currently probably being implemented and being revolutionized is in areas that we would never see
That's
and
a
have
fair
any.
point.
It's not trickled down to Joe Schmo.
I would be interested to know what those are, though, because I haven't read of any use cases.
I could see big healthcare hospitals. I could see AI making,
I could see it replacing manufacturing quality control.
Say again, Jonathan?
Any manufacturing that says we need people to walk around the line and check what sort of errors are occurring. If it can actually deal with images now, it might be able to just read the gauges, read the sensors,
Which,
and
that's
make
a
the
whole nother.
adjustments necessary.
I mean, that becomes a
Then
whole.
we're gonna.
Yes,
the
I mean,
revolution is
yes,
going to be
that-
making everybody lose their job.
I mean, that's
Yes.
a whole other conversation.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, I think there is potential for this to go nowhere. I've got to be honest with you. Pastor Don Elborn says the ROI for AI is increased productivity, and that's not good for the average person, though. Okay, think about this. Technology, the whole sell of technology in general has been, well, we create this technology and now your life's easier, right? Yeah. Okay, you don't have to wash your clothes anymore. The washing machine's going to do it for you. You don't have to wash your dishes. The dishwasher's going to do it for you. Now we've got email, so we don't have to send letters. Life is going to be so much easier. No. All that happens is now you have to be 1,000,000 times more productive because you have these additional tools. Life doesn't get any easier. It just, the expectations for your productivity increase. And so, like, I don't think increased productivity is a good thing to aim for. It's just going to create more work for people ultimately. That's what it's always done.
Yeah, I guess I see the return on investment for me as utilizing AI to shore up gaps in my strengths and shore up gaps in my,
Weaknesses.
Yes.
That's what you meant.
Yeah. I mean, here, in everybody's job, and this is professional, but I think you could do personal too, but there are pieces of everybody's job or personal life where they struggle for whatever reason. Grammar, spelling, creativity, being able to, whatever you want to, And I think AI is going to be able to fill those gaps for individuals.
Well, let's see it in action, shall we, Colin?
Okay.
See what we can get here.
All right, so as I was saying before we jumped into this one, both CoPilot and ChatGPT basically have just a single edit field on the page for you to go ahead and type whatever your prompt is. So I'm just going to do E to jump to it.
Ask me anything, edit, enter.
All right, and I said that we had an event on October 5th, and so I'm going to just kind of, and this is where it gets a little funny, because sometimes the prompt I'll do is almost as long as the flyer ends up being, but it just does sort of a better job in my mind.
Of wording it.
Yes,
Yeah.
so, okay, so I'm going to say, and I've also found too, like the more info you give it, and even like 2-paragraph, 3-paragraph, any of that stuff is going to make a difference. So I'm going to say create a flyer with 3, well, no,
ERHT.
with 2
2.
paragraphs about an event on October 5th.
4.
Oops.
Space.
If I
4.
could even type. 5th
5.
at 10
0
a.m.
a.m.
about mobility. Oh, geez.
Mobility.
Space.
About mobility
Mobility.
using a white cane.
Cane. Space.
There will be hands-on events,
Event.
including
Including.
walking with a white cane,
Space.
sighted guide,
Yes.
and finding and getting into a car.
Car. Enter.
All right, then I'll hit enter,
All right.
Main region. Stop responding button.
and we'll see what we get. So we'll go by H.
Virtual sent by you. Heading level 5.
So this is just,
Sent by-
this under this heading is just going to show my prompt. We'll do H again,
Sent by CoPilot.
and then here's our answer.
Sure. Here's a flyer for your event.
Oh, that's so nice of it.
Separator. Mobility with a white cane workshop. Date, October 5th, 2024. Time, 10 a.m. Location, your event location.
Now, if I would have put Vision
Vision
Forward, it
Forward,
would have filled that in for us.
Join us for an empowering and educational workshop on mobility using
Just
white
stop it a
cane.
second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you notice the first words there?
Join us?
Yeah.
No.
Location.
Not those ones, John.
Join us for an empowering and educational workshop.
Yeah.
Empowering and educational workshop.
Yeah.
What is our company motto?
Empower, educate, and enhance the lives of people. Yeah.
Individuals with vision loss
Yeah.
at all stages of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Locate, join us for
Well,
an empowering and
yeah.
educational workshop on mobility
It is.
using a white cane. This event is designed to provide hands-on experiences and practical skills for individuals who are visually impaired, as well as their friends and family. Participants will have the opportunity to learn and practice essential techniques such as walking with a white cane, using a sighted guide, and navigating various environments. Our expert instructors will be on hand to offer personalized guidance and support throughout the session. In addition to the practical exercises, the workshop will include interactive discussions on the importance of mobility and independence for those with visual impairments.
Is this all true?
Well, like literally, that is what we are doing. But like, I didn't put any of that in there. You know what I mean? It just, so I'm not going to have it keep reading just because we'll try to save time. But like, here is a great flyer that some of it's true, some of it I'd want to change. Like, you know, it's saying our expert, you know, people will be there. Like, there are some things that you would want to
edit,
massage a little bit. But really, I mean, you've got yourself an amazing start to a flyer that really just needs small changes.
I've got to go back to this empowering and educational. I'm sorry, but the reason is because I read yesterday an email from another organization talking about an event that they were having. And it used exactly those two same words, which caught my attention because I was like, those are the two words that are in our...
I think what you're seeing is a perfect example of how AI scrapes anything around white cane. I bet you, if you look, 90% of content on the internet where it says white cane probably says how it empowers and you know, so and it knows it's a workshop, so it's going to use educate in there.
But the point is, Corey, that now I'm very suspicious that this other company used AI to write the blurb for their event.
They probably, I mean...
This concerns me, I'm sorry.
But why? Why does it concern you?
Hold on, before I tell you, Jonathan has a comment.
I do think that is a legitimate topic, the question of, well, am I reading something that's AI?
Yes.
But why does it matter?
Well, because...
In this example right here about an event on October 5th, if you were interested in this event, why do you care if I wrote it or AI wrote it?
I don't necessarily care in this particular instance.
Okay.
But I can definitely see instances in like a school environment, in any sort of like jobs testing, where the use of AI would be restricted.
Imagine I'm going on vacation.
Okay.
And I want to find out the best things to do in Guatemala.
Yes.
Which I can tell you because I was just there recently. Yeah. So I do a search for it, and I get fed an AI-generated article.
That I agree with you, because that's an opinion.
So here's the
I have an issue. If I read an article, if I was doing research on smart home tech, and I read an article about how this new sensor is awesome and you should get it, and then I found out it was AI, I would be upset.
So here's the point.
Because now I'm not trusting.
So here's the point, Corey. If we've seen here that the results are very good.
Yes.
Right. And so there may be certain things that you can pick up on, but for the most part, you would never know this was, done by an AI. So with that in mind, Corey, how and where do you draw the line? What's acceptable and what is not acceptable?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think ultimately it is up to you as the consumer. You've got to do homework to determine.
You don't have the choice, though. That's the problem. You don't know, because you're not going to write at the bottom of the flyer generated by AI. Yeah, exactly, right. So you do not have a choice as a consumer, and that's where it all becomes very shady.
Well, I know you do, because you can find resources online, people that you follow, like technology, Marquez Brownlee, like. I guess he could use AI, but he has built he has built a reputation that he's not, right? I mean, so you do have a choice in what you decide to consume and believe, and
But if AI keeps on going, then there may be YouTube channels which are entirely AI, but nobody even knows.
And I do think it's the responsibility of the organization as well. Vision Forward has had many conversations on a director's level of where does AI play a role in our business, and what is acceptable and what's not, and I think that is going to be a very important piece moving forward.
I think a lot of organizations need to have that track. Jonathan, sorry.
Yes, so while we're on CoPilot,
Yes.
one of the things that a commenter, Mr. L, had mentioned is that he used CoPilot to generate an image for a birthday party. He wanted some sort of visual representation he could attach to a message.
Yeah.
I wonder if that might be a useful exercise while we're still in CoPilot. Also, there are fewer than 3,000 complaints about GPT now, so it's possible that people are getting back on.
Sure. Before we jump into that, let me just read some of these other comments as well. Thank you, Jonathan. So from Tomaz, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there, but Tomaz says, maybe Google Gemini Live revealed just yesterday will be the best solution for people who are blind. If I could use it with smart glasses, it would be wonderful. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I wonder if that's similar to the Be My Eyes demo video that's going around that's using kind of GPT Live, the same thing where it's almost an instantaneous description of what's going around you.
That sounds amazing, but then how do you figure out what information to serve so it's not
I think some of it is still question based, but some of it is, I forget, I think in this, at some point you could do a search for this, the future of Be My Eyes, and I think at one point he says, let me know when the cab pulls up, and then it's just quiet for the longest time, and then it comes. So it's still prompted by you to a certain extent.
Yes, but you don't have to ask the question and get the instantaneous response. You can ask it something for the future. Thomas, if you'd like to expand on Gemini Live in the chat, that would be good. Pastor Don Elbon, again, another use case for AI is in biotech research, looking to what it has done with protein structures, could have some promises for genetic research for blindness. I have Stargarts. Thank you. So yeah, that's a great example of a potential use. Mr. L, AI probably has the most potential benefit in human-computer interaction. It can really help people not normally technically inclined in using software. We've had this conversation before, Corey, haven't we, about screen reader use and how complex it can be and how AI could revolutionize that and make computers accessible to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to access them. And I mean, again, it's a tricky line because it's like, if AI becomes so normalized that everybody just uses AI, then nobody is learning skills which they might be perfectly capable of learning.
I got to assume a very similar conversation was made when the personal computer started, right? Oh, we're going to use computers for everything, and people are going to become more dumb. And same with smartphones, which you could argue that they have,
which they absolutely have.
But you could also argue that we are, our society, breakthroughs in technology as we're farther along now than we've ever been before. So.
Well, that all builds on each other. I think individual people in general, and I include myself in this 100%, are less capable than people were 100 years ago. Like, for example, if you told me, if you asked me, Corey, to build anything, to fix anything, to know anything about my car, any of that stuff, I have no clue. I can use a computer.
I think it depends on how you judge and measure
capability. That's a fair,
right? I mean, if I put you against somebody from the 1930s, you are going to be able to do tons of things that they can't do.
Yeah, but they'll be able to do a lot more useful things, though. That's
but I wonder how much of that's true. It's so easy to say that people in the 30s everyone could fix a car, and is that true though?
I'd like to think it is. Mr. L goes on to say that the argument was likely also made when graphic user interface operating systems became popular and people no longer needed to learn the old command line interfaces. And I think there's some truth in that. I mean, to be honest, I think computers have been made a lot more accessible, software's a lot more accessible, and in some ways I think that's to the detriment of things. I mean, think about how easy it is to shop on Amazon and how addicted people are to shopping on Amazon because it's been made so easy, and that's the way that computing has gone, especially with internet usage. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing all the time.
I have one more example.
Oh, please.
And maybe this is something I did with a client, and I want to see how it works in CoPilot, and then this might lead to maybe a wrap-up conversation real quick.
No edit boxes.
So how do I do a new with CoPilot? How do I do it? Maybe I just got to go to it again?
Yeah.
Alt-D. Address. Couple.
There is
Enter.
still an edit box on the
Search
screen,
Microsoft
but
It wasn't coming
yeah,
up,
Jaws
though.
can see it. That's kind of weird.
CoPilot. Ask me anything. Enter.
Okay,
Ask
so
me
I had a student that I worked with that was just finishing college, and she was going to be a teacher. She had to write a lesson plan on skip counting. And
Wait, what is skip counting?
skip counting, well, we're
Where you
about to
go
find out.
1, 3, 5,
I
7.
think so, if I remember correctly, or count it like 5, 10, 15, 20,
Okay, fair enough.
you know. So she was like, you know, I'm not super confident with skip counting. I'm not, you know, I struggle a little bit with lesson plans. What's the format? Blah 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 blah. So we use ChatGPT, and now we're going to try it with CoPilot. So we're going to say write a lesson plan for
suggestion.
second grade.
Grade. Suggestion.
Introducing skip counting.
Counting. Enter. Search virtual PC.
Now we'll see how it does here.
Wrapping to top. Sent by you.
Ooh,
Sent
still
by
writing.
CoPilot.
It's
Heading
it
level
looks like a
6.
lot.
Sure. Here's a separator. Heading level 3 lesson plan.
Okay.
Introduction to skip counting. Grade level. Subject. Mathematics. Duration. 45 minutes. Skip to content button. Received message. Search filter now.
Nope.
Oh, what happened there? We lost our place.
Sent by you.
Yeah,
Sent
come
by
back here.
lesson plan.
Now,
Introduction.
I'm curious if they broke the lesson plan by headings.
Objectives.
They did?
Yeah, they did.
Huh, that'd be
So now we've got objectives.
List of 3 items. Bullet students will understand the concept of skip counting. Bullet students will be able
Now let's jump to an H again, see what other one.
to materials. Heading
So
level
now it's breaking down the materials you need.
introduction 10 minutes. Heading level 4.
So this is my point. You know, this is amazing, in my opinion.
I agree. It's incredible.
It's breaking down, it's giving you time chunks for each of them, the materials you need. The question is, as a teacher, is this wrong for a teacher to use AI to create a lesson plan?
Absolutely.
Even though the teacher might, well, I guess the problem is right now the teacher's relying on AI and potentially not vetting if this is even correct or not. But let's say, okay, let me change my question quick.
Sure.
What about if the teacher did this, read through it, vetted and confirmed that yes, this is exactly what skip counting is. These are all correct. Then is it okay?
That's such a difficult one. I feel like a fundamental task that a teacher should be able to do is write a lesson plan by themselves. I feel like using AI is cheating.
She's still teaching it. She's still adapting on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Textbooks aren't cheating. Teacher didn't write that.
No, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a very good point. I think if it's vetted for content,
Yeah, I sure
it
wouldn't want a
seems
teacher
okay.
to be writing a lesson plan and then teaching it on something they don't know.
This is the problem, though, because
how do we even
many
know?
people are going to do that?
Do what?
Exactly
Vet it?
what you just said. No, yeah. How many people are just going to create a lesson plan, just teach it without even vetting it?
Well, I would hope none of them.
This is the problem. Like, it's.
I mean, bad teachers will.
Well, exactly, and I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. This is you can create these hypothetical scenarios of what you should and shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, people are lazy, and if you encourage that laziness, society is just going to go down the pan even harder.
Well, and I think the interesting thing for me about AI in this conversation as a whole is that I think it very much depends on who you are and what you believe in and how you feel. Like, you are typically a non-technology. You like technology, you teach technology, but on a day-to-day basis, like you use limited technology. You turn off tracking and things on your phone. You know you don't really want Amazon Echoes in your home. Like, I think you would typically lean towards this isn't good.
Kind of ironic that my job is an assistive technology specialist.
I know. But you love technology when it helps people.
I do.
I mean, and so much of sometimes the technology that's out there isn't helping people. So, I mean, but it is fun. I get what you're saying. But I think it comes down to what it comes down to is what you're comfortable with, whoever you work for, whatever you're creating it for, what they're comfortable with, and
I think it's an amazing technology. I think there's very valid applications. I just worry because people never use technology in the ideal way. And technology also has repercussions that you can't possibly predict. I mean, look at the invention of cars. Incredible in terms of travel and getting people, to where they need to be. But then look at the long-term implications for the environment. Like, it's impossible to judge these things.
And car crashes.
Exactly, exactly. Jonathan?
I think perhaps the most dangerous element of introducing AI into all of our systems is the financial markets. I think as soon as these companies that are making huge investments with people's retirement money, as soon as they think they have an AI that knows this game,
that can say when to sell, when to buy, when to,
then they just let it run in autopilot, and then as soon as two companies do that, then those clash and they have a weird, like both of them are expecting each other to do certain things, and then they implode. I'm worried that automated systems being able to make choices for you should not be used automatically controlling your finances.
No, I agree. And I think there's a lot of areas where that could be said, though. And the internet is getting more and more inundated with AI-generated content. And don't forget that is all based on content that real people have written. So if the internet keeps on going this way, it will all be AI-generated content feeding off other AI-generated content.
So when you say that, if we use this lesson plan that we just talked about, what do you mean? Somebody didn't sit down and write this lesson plan.
Right. So well, somebody may have.
It may be.
But there's no way, and there's no way AI is grabbing it word for word. Like they're not
doing that.
How do you
know?
It's grabbing it
because they would be they wouldn't have made it this far if it was literally.
I disagree with that. I think there's a lot of things which haven't been worked out about how this is taking the information from the internet.
And maybe you're right. My assumption is that it looks at 50,000 lesson plans. It looks at definitions of skip counting.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, though. Here's the problem with that. That example with the glue in the pizza sauce, that came from a specific conversation. And I forget exactly now. You can watch videos on it, but it came from a specific thread. So it's, it is pulling the information about creating pizza sauce with glue from a specific location. It's that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like it's reading everywhere that glue is part of pizza sauce.
No, I know what you're saying.
It read it in a specific place and
is that the outline? I mean, I don't know.
If anybody's ever used glue in their pizza sauce, please let us know. In the chat.
Somebody watching right now, like, what are you talking about? I do it all the time.
That's my mother's secret recipe.
Yeah, exactly. My grandma was Elmer. She put glue in everything.
Wait, isn't Elmer a guy's name? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's
very sexist of you.
Should we ask it?
Ask CoPilot. All right.
Anyway, it's been a great conversation, Corey. Yeah. It's good that we have differing opinion. That we genuinely have differing opinions on this, because it helps spark the debate. And thank you everybody in the chat for putting in your 2 cents as well. Very appreciated. Mr. L finishes up with saying, "If OrCam is going down, then I hope someone else implements their point-to-speak from the My Eye devices." Well, were we not doing that with the Meta glasses?
Meta will do it a little bit. Yeah. You can say read from where I'm pointing or whatever, and yes, there is some capability for it. I agree. I mean, OrCam's OCR engine was top notch. So if they pull out of it, they better sell it. I would assume.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Although I don't know who can afford it.
I'm surprised they haven't been able to integrate AI into their devices. I mean. But that may be because these free apps are available. They just But then again, there's been free OCR apps available.
And the internet too. I mean, it's the My Eye and the Read just isn't exactly great for connectivity.
No, they're not really designed for that. No, you're right.
As soon as you go out to somewhere with Wi-Fi, phone and stuff was great because you always got data. But
hey, we just made a video about the OrCam What's in Front of Me feature.
Yeah, look. Well, exactly.
Mr. L finishes again. Sorry, one more comment. "I am conflicted on the AI topic. It could be used to generate voices in media like video games that would normally be text only. Personally, I actually really like the text, but from an accessibility point of view, I can see how that's not ideal. This could cost jobs for voice actors." Yes, very true. I'm a big text rather than voices in video game kind of guy. because then I can think because I really like reading anyway, I always have, but then I can generate my own voices. Oftentimes I just don't like the voices that voice actors do.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've started an audiobook and stopped it because I couldn't stand the narrator.
Yeah, exactly. I do that with YouTube videos all the time as well. Like, if I don't like the person's voice, it's all over.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah.
Really side note, I think we talked about this, but end on this really quick. Did you ever see that Seinfeld episode with Costanza? He's got to read this book for a class or work or whatever, and he hates reading, and so he thinks he totally works the system, and he gets an audio book version. Oh, I'm sorry. He says he hates reading because he hates the sound of his own voice in his head when he's reading.
Yeah.
So then he thinks he beats the system and gets an audio.
And it sounds exactly like him.
It's the narrator's totally his voice. Yeah. So he's so upset.
I like that. All right, Corey. So do we?
Yes.
Give wah wah or to AI?
I think right now it is. I think that it's great. I think it's very good.
Corey gives it A.
But there is a lot of unknowns that needs to get worked out before it becomes a wah-wah.
Okay, so we give it A for the moment.
Yes.
But
there's a real possible
slight random
wah-wah
applause
coming. Yeah.
There may be a in the near future. All right.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. There's our incisive commentary on AI. Jonathan, I would like you to clip that out, please, and use it as a YouTube short. That would be great.
That literally could have been our whole
yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We do have a new video coming out next week, next Thursday. And that video, I really would like people to watch it because I'm quite excited about it. It was all set outside. It is Corey and I using the what 3 words. And yes, Corey may have got lost in the forest and I may have had to go and rescue him. So you can go ahead and check that out next Thursday, probably releasing by 6 o'clock at the latest. And yes, we're very excited about that video. Otherwise, we'll be back. We should be back in 2 weeks' time for a Tech Connect Live, providing that we can think of an exciting topic that is worthwhile speaking about.
Throw in the comments if you've got topics you want us to cover. Throw it in the comments here. We'll take a look at them. We're always looking for ideas, especially those that people actually want to see.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, we will be ending now, but the comment will still be open for a couple of minutes here. So the chat. Sorry. So please do put a comment in there if there's any specific topics you would like us to cover. And with that, Corey and Jonathan, it is time to go. Adios, and we will see you all soon. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us for another Tech Connect Live. If you enjoyed Corey and Luke's antics, be sure to join us next time. For all things Tech Connect, go to vision-forward.org/techconnect.
We're still trying to turn off the live stream. Just hold on, everybody. Please make sure your tray tables are up at an upright position, and we'll soon be landing.